Hi YouTubers, how you guys doing? Hey, thanks for the support, views on the channel. Love you guys. You know, if you feel like you want to support me, try and give you something in exchange, right? You can go to my website and download a manual or something. I don't know. You guys can figure it out. I mean, it's just superfluous stuff, right? I mean, you can figure out everything that I've probably written down, but reading somebody else's material is always interesting, and it's a way to support the channel, right? So, love you guys. Always appreciate the support. So, what do we got going today? I was kind of shown to talk about disappointment, right? The emotion of disappointment can be really hard to overcome because you see the way people are acting in your environment. I know this is what you guys are seeing right now because that's why I can feel it in the group collective. You're overcoming. It's felt like it just got kind of moved forward in the spiritual community in the last couple of days, where people finally got over disappointment from other people. Because, you see the way people are acting. If people are constantly trying to draw each other towards one another, through sales, because sales, people buy on emotion. And so in order for me to try and sell you something, I have to trigger you emotionally, right? To get you into some kind of feeling like you need what I have to offer, instead of providing positive energy just from a natural breathing state so that you feel whole. You should always feel whole, right? You should never feel like you're in a state of lack. And so that's what cracks me up. You see all these, me and Donna were talking for a while the other day about, you see all these, you constantly get just thrown with ads, because it's constantly trying to get you to worship creation instead of understanding that you are the creator. Because anytime you try and worship the creation, right, you're getting pulled into a state of lack. Like, oh, I need this thing. Like, I don't have this thing. Instead of, I'm the creator. I can create, whatever I need or whatever I want. So you stay in your creative energy, and you're always in that creation state. And then you'll just naturally attract what you need, right? And that's what birthed the manuals that I built on my website, right? Because when you're naturally in your creative cycle, you're pulling yourself into your crown chakra and higher, instead of whenever you're in sales or you're trying to sell something for something material, you have to create a switch, right? You have to create a judgment and then negatively project a negative image to get somebody to pull energetically, right? The third eye chakra, if you're projecting a negative image, you have to project a negative image to somebody to pull on whatever it is that you're doing, instead of naturally providing and then being open to receive. That's why all these ascended masters said that was important to do that, right? I actually was in a meeting the other day where, sorry, I'm going to get to a reading here just a sec, guys, for you guys. But I know that because this is all about disappointment and seeing, especially when you're interacting in things like LinkedIn, that are like B2B platforms. And actually, LinkedIn is dying. If you notice, LinkedIn is putting all kinds of new ads out where LinkedIn is the greatest B2B business model for getting your whatever it has you to offer to other businesses. I've actually witnessed medium-sized businesses completely self-destructing lately. I was asked to help with one, and it went bye-bye. If you guys watched that video, it went gone. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in the spirit realm, and people are neutralizing that, that feeling like, I have what you need. You need to come to me to get it, right? And there are people that have talents, right, that have understood how to meditate and visualize and manifest, but anybody can do that on their own. But you have to walk the path and raise your own awareness by yourself, right? I mean, you're just breaking through emotional ties until you can see all those emotional ties from the higher perspective, because as soon as you've broken through all that stuff and you're no longer tied to anybody else's emotional state, you can view it objectively and go, oh, duh, yeah, I don't want your product, I don't need this, I don't need that, you know, like, if you guys wanted anything that I have to, I'll give it to you. Just ask, right? If you want to work with me, you got to set the right boundaries, right? Because I'd love to build something with you guys, because we could build anything to build whatever society we want to live in. That is what is the restrictor on what we're going through now, right? We can create heaven on earth very shortly if we want. You have to make the choice, right? You're not going to force anybody. You just educate, because everything in the dark side of the tree is trying to pull off each other energetically. On the light side of the tree, as soon as you break into the neutral spot and you're the creator just naturally attracting, that's when you're in a growth cycle forever, constantly going up, because you're just breathing naturally, right? I mean, to watch a tree grow. See the lilies of the field and how they grow. And then he says something about, there's more wisdom in these than, something, I think he referenced King Solomon. I'd have to read that verse again. You guys can read that verse. But it's very profound if you really understand that natural breathing cycle. Because you'll short circuit your breathing when you start worshiping this. Actually, that's why, and I was thinking about that, this is why after, it doesn't matter if you believe the stories in the Bible and if they happened or not, they tell a very powerful spiritual message, and most of the time people don't even pick up on it and don't see the timeline of events that happened there, because those things that were hidden, that were happening spiritually, are hidden in the text. They don't just come out and say it like I'm saying it now. For one thing, Moses burned the tree. Boom. Let my people go. You have no spiritual authority to keep somebody in bondage, right? Because you want to build a temple, or you can't force people to build anything, right? And put them under bondage and then siphon all that energy for yourself, right? You can't have people build stuff for you. That's the business model that we have today, right? That's going bye-bye. Not on my channel, not in my world, right? Gotta say, nah, stop. But so after they got out of there and they went through the desert, and then Moses didn't follow them into the promised land, then you see a sequence of events like Elijah coming along in 1 Kings, and that's why they went after Baal worshipers. Because imagine taking 100 people and putting them on an island. They would, we would naturally figure out our roles to support each other in that community. But throw $100,000 on there and say, now you want to have the most money so that you can control what other people are doing, so you can do less work, right? Not a good idea. Now it becomes super obvious when you're looking at it on a small scale, but when you're looking at it at a large scale, it's like it kind of gets hidden a little bit, right? It's like, oh no, the psychology of money, it's just worship our God. I got a lot of it, so I can get you to do whatever I want you to do as long as you worship this thing. It's all about controlling your energy, right? And so Elijah just went in and put him under contract. Read 1 Kings chapter 17. He actually gets him into contract. He's like, okay, we'll worship your God. If your God is more powerful than the Lord of hosts, right? The Lord of this host. That's what all of us are, right? They are the creators of this host. You win. But if I win, your life's forfeit. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. We'll go with it. And they agreed. And so after, he incinerated his altar after they failed, they just took him down the river and slaughtered him. Life forfeit. Bye. Very powerful message there. Think about what we're going through and the prophecies that are written around this time, this end of 24,000 year cycle. And you don't, generally speaking, you don't want to try and get somebody in a contract, take them down the river and kill them. But people will poison themselves, if they're worshiping the created versus becoming the creator. And you have to let go of all these emotional attachments to feeling like you need to feed off of other people and say, hey, I got what you need, right? instead of just mutually supporting each other naturally, and you get your creative energy, right? So, yeah, let's do a reading. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I wanted to get in here and do a reading before I went to the hill. I'm going to take my doggy for a hike. It was a little cloudy this morning. Right? I've been talking about Fallout to my girl. Fallout is a really cool series. If you guys haven't seen the new Fallout, it's really good. It's actually really poignant as far as like somebody's building vaults, and then in order to keep selling vaults, they actually start a war to get people to go into vaults, because the vaults are useless underground if you don't create something to force people to use them, right? It's like, I mean, think about our society. Think about building a giant military machine, and then you lose money unless you can figure out a way to get people in conflict to use it, right? Happiness. You guys are happy. It's the weekend. So you're not in disappointment with the stag. Ancestors. This is what reminds me of every time I see this card. Standing in a place of power and some major brain power going on here. Like, look at the antlers coming off of that thing. And then you got the world tree out front. You guys are... I swear, the readers that I get, you guys that watch this channel, because it's not like I'm reading to people that don't know what's going on. Injustice, though. Feel like a little bit of feeling of injustice. Okay, here we go. That came out. Do we feel some injustice? At the same time, there's injustice, and then there's justice in motion. With skill. It's like swimming upriver. These cards came out just in this order. So the Woodward is, to me, is the Justice card with I'll show you. Fulfillment. Three of Bows. So this is kind of like fulfillment from choices, right? With a balanced Kundalini. The trees coming, from her. I love this skill card. This guy. He's like sitting in front of a fire, just building stuff. It's like the, kind of like the Eight of Pentacles. A little hand up in the cave there. So I'll make this a fairly short reading for you guys. I don't think we really need to know more than that, right? We're not worried about our external environment or however anybody's trying to sell us stuff, right? Because very shortly, and you can feel the split coming, we're all going to be sitting in paradise here. And that's there'll be beauty and there'll be horror, right? Because you're going to have both sides of the pillars of severity. Because when you fall out of conflict and you can just accept people, and you're no longer trying to push people and trigger them emotionally, right? You're just supporting each other and providing for each other in communities. And then we're going to start building stuff. We're going to be in the stars, right? Easy travel, but then the people that are worshiping the things and trying to establish themselves and having more worth or less worth than somebody else, right? Then, you end up poisoning your environment. Because then you, especially imagine what it's like, and I felt this in the group collective, especially people that have lived in judgment for years and years, and it's not because that they don't, you don't, it's things that you can't let go about yourself, and that's the way you're projecting that onto the other people, right? So it's just letting go, because anybody can just let go of the past and walk into the light at any time and just forget about it, because this is just, right, you're the creator, and if you're creating this image of yourself that's not good, that's how you're going to paint that on other people. And so they'll be the people that'll be living in darkness will see the people living in light as the enemy, right? Not wanting to worship their God. It will be sad, but only if it's just part of the process, right? The tree has to burn. The tree always burns, and we're going through the largest tree burning that the tree burns every 24,000 years, and we're seeing a big one. So it's just an ascension process. And you guys know that. I mean, I'm looking at it right in front of me. Love you guys. What do we got here? Mirrored Souls and Sacred Journey. I love this Mirrored Souls card. I've seen some, you've captured the light and dark within yourself, and it is a sacred. Look at how it twists and turns. The Sacred Journey card's interesting. It's kind of like it looks like a snake, like a peacock on the back of a snake almost, where you're kind of in a rat race for a long time until you break out and then you blossom. Really cool artistic display of that Sacred Journey. I would love to, I can't remember where I got these Oracle cards. I love these Oracle cards. And the Mirrored Souls, right? Sharing the same heart. Two hearts beating as one. And have the same image, right? And their third eye chakra is connected as well. Powerful imagery. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go on a hike. And I appreciate all the support, all the views on the channel, and all you guys. Love you. Catch you later. Bye.